It's time. For months, we've practiced. We've worked. We've trained. We've prepared. We are ready to win. We will win. Winter is coming.
Greetings, welcome to OTNG Orange High School. I'm Brian Nicola. I'm here with Miles DeVise. How you doing, Miles?
I'm all right. How are you?
Awesome. We are here watching the Westerville North Warriors take on the Orange Pioneers in an OCC matchup. Tell us some things we can look forward to seeing tonight, Miles.
Well, we can see a lot of strong individuals. We have some great sophomores, some great new freshmen, new faces, some strong juniors coming in, staying with the program. We're gonna have one more season left. We can see some great matches here.
Okay, we're looking at 2-1. Who's the Westerville North wrestler competing against Zach Miller here? Okay, we got Westerville North versus Zach Miller. Zach Miller is a returning district qualifier.
Yeah, he's a returning district qualifier. He's a sophomore. He's been here since Crush. He's a great wrestler, hard worker. He has a lot of energy with him. His favorite move is the fireman's carry. So he's really the coach says he's really good at that. He performs that really well when he gets the chances.
It's 4-1 against his favor right now, and Miller's looking for something to get something going, and they go out of bounds. It's 4-1, 17 seconds left. Miller gets set on the bottom. It's 4-1, 17 seconds left in the first. Stands up. We'll go to Westerville's name here real shortly here. Miller's having a hard time keeping this pace. Really solid ride by the Westerville athlete. Chops his arm. Looks like we're going to end 4-1 at the first period.
Turn in, left guard! Come on, Zach!
Chooses neutral. Some hand fighting off the whistle.
Come on, Zach!
I think what Miller really needs to do here is keep this kid off of his legs. And I think what North's doing here is really controlling the pace of the match. When I watched Miller compete previously, he likes to slow things down a little bit. He's up from 120 last year where he was a district qualifier. He needs to go near leg on that.
Snap, get the ankle! Keep going! On Miller!
Got our man Miles here. He got back with the roster, so we should be pretty good. The sucker drag attempt by Miller, defended by Westerville pretty well.
Keep rushing. Keep it. Blow the whistle. Out there, right now.
He's got the single. If he can find a way to finish that. And he turns it around. He catches Miller on his back. Doesn't get two takedown, or gets the takedown rather, but no two backs. He's calling him two. Gives him 2 and 2 there. Pretty quick swipes, but it looks like it's going to be 6-1. So if he's calling the 2 and 2, it should probably be 4 or 8-1. Can you send it to me? No, just text it to me. Text it. Looks like Sylvester Bakari.
Yeah.
Sylvester Bakari. He's handy here, 6'2". I like to see Miller create an opportunity in a short time here and try to make it 6'4". If he can block the head and corner, which is what he's trying to do here, he's really going to need to work hard to put Bakari on his butt. Looks like he's in position.
Looks like he's got it.
Out of bounds, there's no takedown.
Hey, you gotta swing that thing. Let's go, Miller.
You're really passionate. I'll try to hold it.
Miller. Swing it.
8-2. I thought if that 2 and 2, it should have been 8-1, so they did end up going to the table, getting back that takedown. And for Miller to create an opportunity to win here, he's down 8-2. He's going to have to score. He's got 2 opportunities to convert, once off a single leg and once off a go behind, and both times was not able to do it. One of those has got to happen for the guy. And he's a talent. He's still only a sophomore, probably up a weight class from where he should be, with state qualifier Rocco Torrio holding down 32.
Well, he has a lot of energy. I think he can do it. I think his fireman, if he hits his fireman carry, I think he can get him down, get his fall count for 3, and we get him back in this game in no time.
One of the things I like to see from Miller is he's shooting from air, and there we go, Bakari with a big throw. He's caught Miller on his back. At this point, his opportunity, he just needs to get off his back. He's got him clamped there. That should be 13. That should be 13-3. At this point, Miller needs to try to take away this major decision. Now in wrestling, the way scoring goes, 2 for a takedown, 2 for reversal, and any opportunity where you hold your opponent in a near fall criteria, that's for a 2 count that were 2 points, and that means almost pinned, or a 5 count is 3 points. Bottom man here can earn a point by getting away, as Miller just did, earning himself 1, and obviously a pin, it's the knockout punch, it ends everything.
Right now, I think Miller all he has to worry about is not getting a mid-decision. He needs to stay on his feet and on his back, not get a takedown. Not get taken down, I mean. My bad.
So he's up by 9. He's down by 9 at this point, creating an opportunity where there's our 2. Boy, 2 on the end.
Oh, come on, Brad. That's 2 takedowns. Let's go.
We got the peanut gallery behind me here. He's pretty worked up. It's actually Coach DeSavito. He's one of a longtime coach and referee, really talented. And his son is one of the head assistants here at Orange High School. Miller really needs to convert this. He's got 20 seconds. At this point, he needs to take away the major decision for his team. He hasn't been able to score yet on Bakari, but he really needs to create the opportunity. There it is. If he can ride him out, it's going to end up as a regular decision. I've got a long-time Juice reporter here, Kevin Burke. Kevin, you want to say hi?
Hi, how we doing, everybody?
Kevin, tell me how your brother did tonight.
It's a real sloppy match. Real sloppy, but hey, you got the win at the end of the day, so keeping the brand name alive.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Nice seeing you.
So that ends up as just a regular decision for Westerville. That puts them up 3-0. So did you get a chance to talk to Coach Grant, who's Westerville North's longtime head coach? What did he have to say, Miles?
Yeah, he says we have a really strong. They have a really strong team. They have a. This is his 15th year coaching. He says it's a really strong team. They really put together and had a really good season last year. And they're hoping to put it together again this year.
Guys, just there's tons of space.
Right now we have Matt Hipsher. 145-pounder going, and he's a senior. He's been overcoming a lot of injuries this year. That's why you see the braces on his knees. The coach is hoping he can have it come back and have a good year this year. He loves his low singles all the time. He loves them. If he can hit it, I think he can take him down real quick.
Nice shot. Let's go, Matt. Come on, Matt. Drag out. Drag out.
Matt Hipsher's been with the program really again since Crush. His dad is the middle school coach, was a longtime high school coach, and Matt is one of the guys is, again, like you said, Miles, battling injury. He's a talent. He's long and lanky. His brother's a junior, John Carroll, which is 184, and built more like his father. Matthew's built more like his mom, a long, lanky, athletic, and I think as a 145-pounder, he's really big at the weight. He's really big at 145. Again, similar to Miller, he's shooting from space, and that's something, when I say from space, it's like way out.
Seems like he's in a little trouble here. He got a takedown. He's wrestling Jacob Grant. Jacob Grant seems like a really good wrestler. You got him down right now. Back up into neutral.
Hipsher does best when he's in a scramble position. I want to say by that, like if he's in an opportunity that puts his opponent in kind of like an unorthodox position, that means maybe if he's in on Matt's leg and Matthew's to the side, and he can kind of create some opportunities. Even though he's had a little bit of knee problems, he's still pretty bendy and pretty flexible, and that's one of the things that's worked for him real well through his career. As a senior, he won't be wrestling next year. I think he's going to Ohio State. But, I mean, he can finish this year really strong. I feel like he's the kind of guy that should be a district, scoring pretty heavily and putting himself in a position to qualify. But obviously winning a match like this is important right up front.
Yes, sir.
(3-1) Grant. Yeah, I got you. 3-1 still. He's got a pretty good height advantage on Grant. I'd like to see him hand fight. I'd like to see him get heavy on his head a little bit. Grant's a little shorter, a little blockier. Dave Grant's the head coach. I know this isn't his son, but it might be his nephew. His nephew, Chris's son. Grant's in general short, blocky wrestlers, strong competitors. Hipsher's going to have to take advantage of his length and really score from there. But so far, it's all Grant. He's been on a single. Hipsher defends hard, brings his leg back. He's got to use his length and take away those short attacks. That high crouch by Grant.
You can't let him get inside on him.
Absolutely not. Still 3-1 Hipsher. I'm sorry, it's 3-1 Grant. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Go, Matt.
27 seconds left in the second. 3-1 Grant. I feel like Hipsher's got at least 6 or so inches on him straight up. He's got to put him in a position, work the underhooks. But again, kind of control that position, which he hasn't been able to do so far yet.
Grant seems like he's been in control this whole time. I think Hipsher has to just turn the tides real quick with a quick single and get him down. I think he can work his magic from there.
His strong positions are on top, and I'd like to see Matthew get a chance to score from there. 3-1. Hipsher down. He can make it 3-2 if he clears early, and then it's a takedown match.
Get your head off the mat. Come on, head up.
It's really the thing you don't want to do is put your head right on the mat. Right off the whistle, you need to clear. He's got hand control. Looks like he's going to clear. It'll be 3-2. Now, if you watch a lot of wrestling, if you watch college, there's an opportunity for riding time, which can add another point. In high school, that opportunity isn't there. So no matter how long you hold someone down, it doesn't matter. So far, Hipster hasn't really been in a position to score. But he can change that here with the takedown. Grant's really heavy on the hands. He's moving him well. He's getting Matthew out of his stance, and that's got to, again, he's got the double. There we go, and that's going to make it 5-2.
Come on, you got to get up. Let's go, Hipster.
We got 1 minute left to go. Matt Hipster has to get up right now. He is down 2-5 on the count.
Right, dude. Try to turn it. Get your head the other side.
45 seconds left. So far it's been Grant. Grant scored twice, and he's in again. And right now he's got Hipster on his heels. Disappointing. He really needs to be on the way to win these types of matches.
Come on, Hip, let's go.
Evan out of bounds right there. Seems like Grant is really big on the hand fighting right there.
Very physical. I think he's only a freshman. He might be a 10th grader. But for a freshman to have that type of poise, this is going to be 10-4. Another decision match. That should make it 7-4.
That's big.
Should be 7-0. Westerville North at this point.
We're heading into our 152 weight class. Our varsity wrestling is Connor Savantner. He's a freshman. Coach Tressler says he's a really hard worker. He's great in practice. He really puts forth a lot of effort. He loves his fireman carry also. It's really big on this team is the fireman carry, really.
I was pretty interested in watching Savantner. I was in the room earlier this year, and I noticed I hadn't seen him. I'd seen him a little bit in middle school, but kind of can't really tell. And I watched him against some of the older kids, and he's really pretty strong for his weight class. I think he's up maybe a weight or two from where he's certified, which is no big deal if you're 14 or 15. I don't think you want guys really, as freshmen, watching their weight too much. But he's got some really good skill set. When I watch him in the practice room, I notice a lot that he'll come really close to hitting something, or maybe 80 or 90% of the way towards hitting it. And I think those are the kind of guys that are going to transition really well as they get to be sophomores or even juniors. I mean, he's got a pretty bright future. I know Nick Schoenlib and Roger Beaumier are the usual two guys splitting time here. But he did some indicator matches the other day, and I think he liked what Savantner had, and he wanted to see what he could bring to the table. He's a tough kid. I'd like to see him get the W here. I know we need one as the Pioneers.
Take your right arm down.
Still zeros, 43 seconds left in the first. Hand fighting, pretty good at physical hand fighting. How old's this other young man? Do we have an age on him?
We do not. But he is there, Caden Christ.
Chris is a real talent, actually. He's a guy that I think at the very least scored at districts last year. I'll be looking him up here shortly. So to have Savantner right there in the mix, I'd like to see if he can find a way to pull one off of Chris. I think he's a guy you got to consider staying with through the stretch, or at least for a while.
Turn your leg. Keep turning. Keep turning. Tripod.
Savander has it on a single right now, fighting for it.
Okay, we're sitting at zeros here. Pretty good first period from the rookie. Now, Chris was a district qualifier last year and is a 12th grader. He won a match there. He won a match over Westerville. Watkins Memorial Cameron. They were 1 and 2. For him to be a senior and it to be zeros here, 1-0 Westerville North. Savanter needs to score here and go up 2-1. I like this kid later in the match, Connor Savanter. He's in great shape. I know Coach puts him through the ringer, and so let's see if he can keep it close and pull one out in the third.
You can see they're both really big on the hand fighting, getting really aggressive up in their faces. Up, Savander in on the double. Good sprawl by Christ.
Come on, Connor, you gotta get a shot. There, where's your shot? Come on.
Still 1-0, 42 seconds left. I like to see him go for that near leg and set it up. There's a nice carry, but he's got to keep that arm trapped. He didn't keep it. Chris is looking the corner. He's looking the corner. He's blocking the head, and he's blocking. That's not quite two yet. Not quite two yet. He's going to probably call him stalling, fleeing the mat.
Johnny.
Savanter was in a position. I thought it was actually a pretty savvy move by the young guy. He was probably in a position where Chris would have scored, or probably in a position where he would have scored, and he chose to scoot out of line. I'd like to see him score there and make it 2-2. Chris is real solid. He's got a knee under here. Real Iranian, he can hit it. He can knee under. He should not let that go. He needs to clamp on it. He's at short time, 8 seconds. He's got to keep moving. And there's going to be the 2 with 2 seconds left. Man, that's a tough one to give up.
Down 4-0 against Chris. He has to fight back. Coming into the third period, he has an uphill battle, but he's on bottom. If he can get out and get a reversal, I think he got this.
The best case scenario here would be the reversal. Of course, take the 1 and make it 4-1 if it's 4-2. Savander's one of those freshmen that I'm really, as I mentioned earlier in the match, excited to see how he progresses.
He's up and out. See what he can do from the upright position, neutral.
Chris.
Come on, Connor, you need a shot.
At this point, he needs to get something going. It's 4-1. There's 50 seconds left.
Come on, Connor!
Seems like he's fatigued, really slow. He needs to get that energy up. Chris is still moving. He needs to keep moving with him, move more.
I mean, really, right now, the onus is on Savanter to score. 37 seconds. Chris is a stud. What I'd like to see Connor do, though, is continue to go for it. He's really going for it, and I'll take it. And I feel like, I know a lot of the athletes competing at 152 for this spot. I feel a 6-1 match here. Oh, that's some horsepower. Now he's got the grown man strength. And there it is. See, but I like that fight from him.
for a freshman, he has no fear against these seniors, juniors, all these upperclassmen. He has a lot of heart for his age.
I agree. If that's going to end, it's going to be 8-1.
For this match, he shouldn't take this as a loss. Just take this as a learning period. He's just a freshman coming in, though.
I think so. I don't think anybody ever wants to get a loss hung on him. But the reality is they're kind of going for the end of the season. If Savanter can show Coach that he's in the mix for that 152 spot, he's the guy at sectionals can grab a district qualifying spot. That happened with Zach Miller last year, who was under 500, was able to grab that spot. This is another freshman. This is Mitchell Broski. Mitchell's a stud, and so I'm anxious to see this matchup. Who does he got today?
Coming up against Mitchell Broski is Eli Williams.
Mitchell's been up and down this year. He's an elite talent coming up through youth and middle school. But 160 is a tough weight for a freshman, and we knew that coming in. He's had a couple great wins. He's had some head-scratching losses, but he has it's real nice right there. He's a talent. Mitchell, when he gets on top, he's long and lanky.
He likes to ride legs, too.
He does, and it's something that's worked real well for him. He placed up at the Medina Invitational, which is a tournament that is one of the most elite tournaments in the state of Ohio. At one point, probably the best tournament in the country. So for him to place, I think he got 8th. Even to grab that 8th spot, that's a big deal for a youngster. I'd really like to see him pull this out and get orange on the plus side.
Yes, it is.
I don't think 160 is a very big cut for him. I know he was a lot bigger during football season, but it looked like he was making it pretty comfortable the other day, which I think will benefit him when we start getting into the stretch of the season. Guys are cutting weight a lot. Guys are really uncomfortable. That looks like a cut injury time. Broski back to the center. Is this Williams, you said, this gentleman's name from Westerville North?
Eli Williams, yeah.
Eli Williams. Broski riding tight here.
Coach said he was a really hard worker. He puts a lot of effort in the gym and stuff. There we go, classic Broski, riding legs. He really loves to do that.
I think he does nice on top, and I had the lack of privilege to go underneath him when we were wrestling just a couple of months ago, and keeps just a ton of pressure on his opponent. You'll notice when he rides legs, some guys will sit back a little bit. He keeps just a lot of pressure on the neck and the head and the shoulders, and really creates an uncomfortable situation when he's riding people. That's going to let him score late in the match when he wears guys down. He's looking for that cradle here, trying to bring Williams' head to his knee. Williams, again, looks like he's got a significant amount of horsepower. It doesn't look like he's having it at this point.
Not at all. I believe if Mitchell keeps on him with his leg riding and just putting him in uncomfortable situations, I believe he can wear Williams down at the last minute in the third period.
I think you mentioned something really important there. When we talk about high school wrestling versus youth or middle school or high school, and then obviously into college. Even at this level, even at high school, I think you see pretty tough athletes not wanting to get put in uncomfortable positions. And so you get late in the match, there's some physicality, maybe there's really strong hand fighting, or maybe a really good top rider like Broski. What you're banking on there is wearing them down and getting that late fall or getting those late points when you need them. And I think that's one of the things from Mitchell that works really well in his favor. He's not gigantic at 160, but he's so long and he's so physical that those are things I think are going to work real well for him.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of wrestling Mitchell Broski in middle school. He loved to put people in uncomfortable situations, and he was really, for his height and his age, he was really strong on top and on bottom if you got him on bottom.
So Miles, tell me so you are a former wrestler.
Yes.
Tell us about your place, what are some of the things you do here with the broadcast program?
I like to cover from football, basketball to wrestling. I really like covering wrestling. I love this. I love the sport. I couldn't wrestle this year, unfortunately, but I still love the sport. I love to be involved with it. I come up to the wrestling room every so often just to hang around.
Okay, Broski again.
Scores 2-2.
A lot of blood time. Can't really tell what's happening over there, if he's bleeding or if he's losing his nose plug or what's going on.
That's one thing also I remember from middle school wrestling. Broski was a real bleeder, if you believe
Did you ever
that.
get to put the hurt? Did you ever bring the pain? Did you bring him the blood, or was that just incidental as he would be like throwing you around? Injure himself.
I accidentally went in for crossface on him once and hit his nose. I made him bleed like twice. Other times he was putting the hurt on me though.
Well, it happens. We've all been there. Broski riding tight here. It's 2-1. He's got that cowboy ride, which means he's got that leg hooked short on the one side. A lot of times he'll go down to the ankle with his opposite leg. It's a really solid, there he goes, right there. It's a really solid ride to break a guy down, and he can do that crossbody Turk.
You see Mitchell has that crossface in right now.
So what he'll do is he'll kind of break that body down, and then he'll keep that near leg in, and then he'll use his height to kind of stretch across the body. It works really well in his favor.
Mitchell has been with the program since Crush, actually. really as a really young age. His brother Logan Broski was a wrestler here. He was really good at this at it.
Yeah, I got to wrestle Coach Logan my time here when I was working with the high school team, and he's a real tough kid and wrestled with Heidelberg for a couple years. Brady.
Also, his brother Braden just wrestled earlier at the middle school. Brady, sorry.
It's okay.
Wrestled at the middle school. He won his match too.
Like that, he's looking for the big stuff here. That's going to be his one. Call neutral. 31 seconds. It's going to be Williams is up.
If Mitchell can get a shot in here before the end of the period, I think he has a chance to of coming out with this. Holding on during the third period.
I think it's pretty important that he scores here.
We have another blood timeout. I think his Gauze came out this time. Mitchell back on the mat.
It's 3-2.
Go Mitchell in that shot. I think he's in a little trouble here.
It's going to be the end of the second. It looks like we'll stay at 3-2 Westerville North. Williams up on Broski so far. We're going to the third period.
If I was smart, I'd go down. Have Mitchell go down first of the third period.
For sure. I think if it's his opportunity, I feel like he had it.
Yep. I think the coach read my mind.
There we go. He catches him on his back. That was the one. It's going to be 5-3 Broski. He's looking real good here. He's been so tough in the top position. I like him here. I feel like he's going to be in a great position.
If he can keep on and just ride legs and keep him down.
5-3 Broski.
Jump! Keep going this way. Come towards me.
Again, he got that short leg ride. Goes the far ankle. He's got to clear his right arm and go across Williams' face. There he goes. Push it down, stuff him, and just turk right there. And that's where he lives. That's where his brother lived. A lot of athletes throughout the career of Orange that ride that crossbody ride. Arlington Jungo, state runner-up, and a 3-time state placer, made a living there. And what's ironic, just a lot different build from Mitchell. 53 seconds. Let's see if Broski can go hold on and get Orange on the board.
It looks like he has that near side cradle in there. If you can hit that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be content to hang here for 40 seconds. I'd like to see him score, but I don't think he's going to take any chances. At the very least, he's going to give up one. Go that power half, opposite side power half. Really strong. He's more Williams down here. There's 25 seconds left. Lots of good action on the other match. He's got a stalling call with Mr. Cameron, who's our official tonight. He's got a little bit of wiggle room. Can't really afford another stalling because an escape will tie it up.
22 seconds left in the period.
Break him down. 20 seconds.
I think Williams is just worn down. I think he's tired from Broski putting him in such an uncomfortable position all this time.
We go looking that cradle out. 10 seconds. It looks like that should do it. Broski wins 5-3, gets Orange on the board. Good stuff. Nice win for the freshman 160-pounder.
Tell you, that was not an easy win for him. He had to fight for that one.
For sure.
Go, Tristan!
Who do we have for Westerville North here, Miles?
At the 170, we have Nico Candido. I think it's Candido. Nico Candido.
Nico Candido. He's going to be matched up against Tristan Blunchley.
Tristan's a junior at the Olentangy Orange High School. He's been with the program since Crush.
Now, you've mentioned Crush a couple times. Tell me about what that is or what the story there.
Well, Olentangy Crush is really a program for grade school or elementary schoolers. It's like 6th graders and down type. It's where they can get a feel for wrestling, have some fun with it, really get into the program. A lot of the people at Orange High School and coming in from Berkshire and the Orange Middle School have been with that program since they've been here. They've come out. They're really good. Like Mitchell Broski, Zach Miller, and Connor Savantner.
A lot of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys.
I've been here since a really young age.
Tristan's brother, Chris Wallace, is one of the middle school coaches.
Keep going, Tristan! Watch it throw!
In a bit of a scramble here.
Blunchley has a lot of stuff. He was a district qualifier as a freshman at 138. Struggled last year up at 182. I watched him yesterday in practice. I hadn't seen him roll in a while, and I went in and watched a little bit. His wrestle off. He had a really pretty solid performance. He's a lot stronger than he. There we go. And he's a lanky, scrappy kid. But he's really got to win. He's really got to win those positions. He loves these scramble positions. He'll probably look for that head trap there. Probably pop his head and get his 2 there, and that's going to end up being
4-3.
4-3 Blunchley. A lot of scoring early on in the match here.
Keep that in there! Keep that leg up!
4-3 Orange. Big shouts to Jenny Marsh. She's our director up in the studio. Jenny's a senior. Cameras, Savannah Larson up top, all by herself up there. Ava Clark down on the ground with the floor camera. And I'm here with Miles Zavis. Blunsley with a nice turn. He doesn't look like looks like he's got 2 sitting. That's going to make it 6-3.
Blunsley, like Broski, loves to ride legs. He's really good at that. Really good on top.
He's not as much of a hammer, but I feel like he's going to win those scramble positions a little more. He's a little more comfortable on his hip. Broski stays a little more standard. Now, unfortunately, these are the positions he gets himself in. But a lot of times he can win those points back pretty quickly. It's going to be 6-5. Blunsley, I'd like to see him get 1. That's going to be 3 more. 2 more, I'm sorry. Looks like Mr. Cameron got 2, then a break, and then 2 more. It's going to be 7-6. Give up 4 points that late in a period. That's, for a junior, that's something he's got to remedy. I like looking over to the mat on our left. We got some JV matches going on. Lots of tough kids. Get those swipes there. He's got to sweep. There we go. Okay, he's got to. This is where he has success. He just kind of like spiders his way through it. He can build over on top, and that means he's going to have 3 right there. That should make it 9-7. I'd like to see that power half. Again, a surprising amount of horsepower from a guy that really doesn't pass the eye test. But I don't. Yeah, there we go. That's not ideal. He's got him in a rough position. There's the ball.
Blunsley unfortunately got that pin. He got himself in a bad position.
He has got to get more comfortable on the top. He sits great scrambles. He gets those swipes all the time. Can scores pretty heavily. On the left here we had. That's a tough one to lose. It's 16-3. Westerville North in control of this match right now for the Nears at 182 coming up.
Coming up is Dylan Dempsey, a sophomore at Orange High School. Dempsey made the jump last year. He had a struggle last year. Went from 4 wins this last year to 13 wins this year. He faced the number 1 person in the country a couple matches ago. When nobody usually gets a shot on him, he actually got a leg. Ooh, Blunsley came down real hard.
Dempsey's had a good year so far. I think he's at 14-6 maybe. He's got Mitch Potoff. Potoff's a real stud. He's been at it for a while. I think Potoff's a senior.
Come on, Dylan. Okay. Come on! Let's go, Dempsey. Come on, baby.
Caught on that sit out, suck back.
Come on, Dylan.
It's really got to keep moving when you also kid like to play this talented.
Come up.
Mitch Potoff was a district qualifier last year. Actually, looks like he was a district placer. Scratch all of that. He's a state qualifier. 3rd at the districts. Very talented kid. Dempsey's good, man. He's a 10th grader. Again, he came up through the program. Moved from you said, Miles, moved from 160 to 182. Struggled last year, 3 and very few wins last year. But again, having a great year this year. I'd expect him to have a really strong postseason. A little overmatched now. It's 7-0, and he's getting swipes. He's going to hit something big here to keep it with Potoff, who was a state qualifier last year as an 11th grader.
This man's just overpowering Dempsey right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think some of the things you see, and wrestling's one of those. Obviously, strength is not the only determiner. When you talk about somebody that 18 years old, you start talking about some grown man strength. He's horsepowering him around a little bit. I'd like to see him get out here. I'd like to see him fight those hands and clear, get back to his stomach and go to work and see what he can do. But obviously, it's 10-0. It's not going great at this point.
Had that cradle in.
There's 3 more.
Come on, Dempsey.
You might get that. Yeah, it's going to be a final decision.
That's going to be it. That's a tech fall in the first period. That doesn't happen a lot. I think that's a real sign of what kind of athlete Potoff is, and that's going to do it. It's going to be 16-0, and that'll end the match. Physical. You can give up the fall. I think that's something to build off of. But obviously, to get that level, Dylan, who's a talent, he's going to have to find a way to close the gap on a guy like that if he wants to score heavy at districts. I mean, he's close. Who do we got now here? Is this Alex Lopez, Junior Alex Lopez?
Yes, sir. Alex Lopez. He was a district qualifier last year, and was voted second team OCC. Man's very talented.
Deverick Buragana, okay. Looks like Buragana's got a little bit of height on Lopez. Lopez is so blocky. He played fullback this year on the football team that was playoff contenders. Made the state playoffs this year. He's really strong, really heavy with his hands. Good low center of gravity, big legs.
He loves
big hips.
Sweep singles, though. He's really quick on his feet. A lot of energy, a lot of power.
Hey, you gotta snap down, kick your legs back. Don't pull him into you.
Sometimes it's deceiving because Lopez is short, but if you look at his build, big shoulders, big chest, big legs. I mean, he's a really, to me, when I think of 195 pounder, that's the kind of guy that I want to see. There we go. That's a nice single. He goes opposite leg. I like to see him go near leg.
Have more luck on the near leg.
Hips under. Again, getting stretched out there. That's tough. He's going to get that 2 there. It's going to be 2-1. Buragana. Apologies to Mr. Buragana if that is not his name.
Yeah, get up! There's your shot right there! Take a shot! 10 seconds!
With short time, it's 1 second. Look, it's going to be 2-1. Buragana here.
Pick up the tempo, Alex.
Orange defers. Buragana chooses down. Starts the second period. It's 2-1. Team scores 21-3. Westerville North. Obviously, we need to find a way to close the gap here to make this a match.
Alex just needs, Mr. Lopez just needs to ride him down, wear him down, just muscle him over.
I do feel like he's got a little more horsepower than Buragana, but Buragana's got that height. I like him here.
Buragana's a little more technical than Alex is, really.
Buragana looks like he's going to clear. It's going to be 3-1. Hand fighting 3-1 Buragana, 1:30 in the second. Good low single attack. He's got to come up underneath with it. Buragana's winning the hip battle. He's cornering. For Lopez to score in that position, as soon as he's in on that leg, he's got to hip under. He's got to get to the side.
Buragana,
there we go. Watch that knee. He's getting the falls. He's getting the falls, and there's the fall.
Fortunately, just got caught in an uncomfortable, a really bad position. I don't think this will be the last of Alex Lopez. I think he can come back next season, have a really good season.
Yeah. One of the things I'm thinking, he's got to find a way off the bottom there. I've wrestled Alex a lot. Really should not be getting pinned in that match. And I think he'll make the adjustments, hopefully, in the room. They go up to Mommy Bay tomorrow to compete, and it's going to be a heck of a tournament. So I think you'll see a stronger performance from him up there.
Coming up is Kardan Mutai, a junior. Coach says he's a really hard worker. He's a good leader, puts in a lot of work ethic in the wrestling room. I've had the pleasure of watching him over the years wrestling. He's really good at muscling kids. He's a really big body. Unfortunately, got taken down right there.
Yeah, big jump. When I watch guys in the room, him or Dempsey's the most improved kid from last year. Kardan struggled, had a losing record. Played a lot for the football team. We had Zach Harrison, who's kind of one of our all-state, gone on to Ohio State play defensive end. When Harrison was out the first 3 games this season, Mutai played that stand-up end and did a nice job, and I know the coaches are excited to have him back playing on that corner. But during the winter, he's in a singlet and he's on the mat, and right now he's down 2-0. He's looking for an arm bundle. Who's this gentleman from Westerville North, Miles?
220 is
Jacob Goldsmith. Goldsmith looks like him and Buragana just flip-flop weights for this match. They're both 195 pounds. Looks like they bump Buragana. I'm sorry, look like they bump Goldsmith up. It's 2-2. Goldsmith's talented.
Goldsmith looks like like he loves to overpower people.
Goldsmith's a very good wrestler. It's 4-2 here. If we can find a way to make it 4-3, it looks like we're going to finish the first period 4-2. After Cardian, we'll have Zach Stevenson and flip to the bottom of the lineup. No 106 for Orange at 113. Nikoloff, 120. Cole Jackson, and 126 Taryn Martin, and then finish things up with state qualifier Rocco Torrio at 32. Cardian fighting a 2-on-1, that Russian tie. Goldsmith does a nice job. Instead of letting Cardian take it across his chest, he kind of works it up into an underhook on Cardian's near side. It really takes away that power.
A lot of aggressiveness from Goldsmith.
Big double.
A lot of hand fighting from him. Cardian's really getting taken back by this.
Referee stops it. If you've never been to the wrestling match, one of the things that stands out is the aggressiveness of the crowd. And I mean that in the best possible way. I came up with the sport. Cardian's in trouble here where he fights to his stomach. Because it's one of those sports that's physical and a combat sport. I mean, obviously we have some other ones out there. You've got football, incredibly aggressive.
Hey, let's go, Colin!
Lacrosse, hockey, some other ones, and certainly all sports have a level of physical contact. But the one-on-one aspect of wrestling, coupled with the closeness of the crowd, that means if they chose, they could probably jump up and run right out there. And I've seen it once.
I've seen it a couple times with little kids coming out to protect their older brothers. It's really funny.
My first year as a head coach in 2001, I had a parent come onto the mat, and yeah, it wasn't pretty. She went after the ref and went after the other kid. And these were like 180, this would have been at 189 was the weight at the time, 189 pounders, and the referee was not a small man. She was a pretty short lady, so everybody just kind of stood there. But it was still not good, and the proximity of the match does allow that to happen. I still see the young man whose motto was on occasion, and I always make sure I bring it up. Cardian's at 7-2 right now. I like his fight here. I do think Goldsmith's one of their stronger wrestlers. He corners there. Let's get that two. It looks like he's going to get that two. No, he's got that leg trap, and they're going to go out of bounds. Goldsmith 2-2 at districts last year. I do think Mutai is very close to being very successful, and he's had a lot of wins this year. I know he placed at the Liberty Classic, which is a top-level tournament. I do think he's a district-level kid, and I think a lot of these Orange wrestlers are district-level or better kids. But against a team like Westerville North, we've got to find a way to win some of these matches, and so far we've only been able to do it one time.
Yeah, so you can see them making like little silly mistakes and all that gets them in really bad positions to have a counter or get pinned, as you saw in Tristan Brunsley's situation. You just got in really uncomfortable positions. If we can fix that up, I believe we can have a really good season coming up.
Yeah, and I think it's still a strong team. I'm more interested to see how they do at Maumee Bay this weekend. Maumee Bay is a talented tournament, probably a little stronger in Top Gun. If you're a wrestling person, A lot of tough tournaments this weekend. You've got Top Gun up in Alliance, Ohio. Home of Pizza Oven Pizza. Shout out my favorite pizza. The best pizza on the planet. I don't know what to tell you if you've never had it. Your boy, Tanner Lambert, had it last weekend and even messaged me and told me how exceptional it was. You've also got Bill D's Invitational up in Akron Firestone. Big double by Goldsmith. And then the Maumee Bay Tournament, Maumee Bay Classic rather, that's where the team's going to be. As soon as they're done here, they're going to shower, they're going to load the bus, and they're going to head on up there tonight, get ready to weigh in again tomorrow morning.
9-3 Goldsmith.
Yeah, Goldsmith's putting on a clinic here. Mutai's hanging in there. I'd really like to see him score an offensive takedown. I think he's close to being very successful. But again, on the edge there, when Goldsmith had his ankle trapped, I like to see him straighten that leg out in corner and get that too. We've got to find an opportunity how to score on guys that are, talented, deep in the district kind of guys. That double all day, Goldsmith. It's a classic Iowa leg tackle. I mean, there's lots of ways to hit a double leg. When you did it back in your heyday, what was your move if you had one?
I loved the double, actually. I'd love to. Mine was really simple. I drive my hands into the back of their knees and just my shoulder into their hips, and I just drove it forward.
Yeah, that's
drove it home.
It's the basic leg tackle, Iowa leg tackle, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot to it. Just kind of a little bit of horsepower. Again, more of the same here. It's 13-5.
I'd love to bait him with the dip, honestly, all the time.
That's how we're going to end. It's going to be short time on the clock, 15-5. That's going to be a major decision. It's going to make it 31-3, Westerville North Warriors. One of the things that's made Westerville North so successful all these years is Coach Grant's been there for 20 years at this point. He wrestled there. His brothers wrestled there. His kids and his nephews are wrestling there. He views it as his life's mission, and really, every year they've got a very deep 70 or 80 kids on the team. He's done a really nice job of fostering that. And it's Coach Scott Tressler's 4th year in the program. Last year he had 2 state qualifiers, won a sectional title in 2017. One of the things Coach talks about, did you get a chance to talk to Coach at all? What are some things
I did. He says it's a very kind of new, it's his 4th season, it's kind of a new, it's newish team, not a lot of seniors on the team, but we have the juniors stepping up, being leaders, being really big, forgot the word there. They're big
strong leadership from the older kids.
Yes, they're really strong leadership. And he's lucky enough to have some of the juniors and sophomores for 1-2 more years. And he just says he's looking forward to a greater year ahead. Up now we have Zach Stevenson up against Derek Byron.
Stevenson's going to be playing Ohio State next year. He's invited walk-on at offensive line. He's a tough kid. He was at districts 2 years ago. He shouldn't be losing that position to this young man from Westerville North. He's got to find a way to win that position back. What's this young man's name? I'm sorry, from North again.
Derek Byron.
Mr. Byron. Derek Byron. Stevenson's going to clear. It's going to be... Wow. And Byron's just going all day with the big stuff.
And that's a pin.
At this point, they're rolling. Okay, they'll get 6 more. We'll have Nikoloff at 13. It looks like maybe Nikoloff's not going to come out. I'm sorry, he is on the mat. My fault. No, he's not. Yeah, let me see. I may or may not know what I'm talking about. Looks like Orange is going to forfeit at 13 and go right to Jackson at 20. Cole Jackson recently dropped to 20. Did you get a chance to talk to him at all? Tell me about Cole.
Cole is he's a senior this year. He was a district placer last year. He's also a 4-year letter winner. He's a varsity all 4 years. Coach jokes about him all the time. He says he has a really good mustache. Great stat game.
It's a heck of a. It's really outstanding.
For
70s.
For a senior. For a senior.
There's not much to it. He looks great. Big as all get out at 120, and I think it's the right weight for him.
He's a real lengthy person.
District placer last year at 113. Lost his go-to-states match on a really close call. I think it was 5-4, 4-3. I know he's looking to finish out his senior year down at the Schottenstein Center.
Cole has a lot of energy. He loves to. Coach says he loves to cradle his opponents when he's on the ground on top. He loves to cradle.
One of the things with that length at 120, he can go opposite side leg and pull it in really tight.
There he is going in for that cradle right now, far side. If he can connect his hands, I think he's got a chance. Going up against him though is James Gooding.
What do we know about Mr. Gooding here?
Coach says Gooding's one of the really hard workers.
With the reversal.
He was a real lengthy person, real scrappy.
Gooding was a district qualifier at 113 last year. It looks like he won a match for getting knocked out by Murray. He's in the same bracket that Jackson was in, but they did not wrestle each other last year. Certainly a talented kid. For Gooding to have qualified as a 9th grader out of North, that was second coming out of Newark. He lost in the final. Jacob Reed from Lancaster Reed's a state qualifier. Gooding's talented. Starting them back up. It's twos. 27 seconds left. I'm sorry. Jackson's down. Gooding on top. It's riding really tight up on the hips. I'd like to see Jackson clear him.
Get a reversal real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go, Cole.
Our podcast is our streaming link is showing 498-3. I can assure you it's not quite that bad. Jackson out 3-2.
Westerville North has the lead right now. Cole's in a bit of trouble.
It's going to be 5-2 Gooding. $49-3 North. He's got that really hard. He's got a really tough Burnett bar there. Former Bucks, 4-time national champ Logan Sieber, big arm bar guy. If you ever had the privilege of watching Mr. Sieber's made our national team a couple times, he'd hit these arm bars. It would look like he was going to physically rip somebody's arm off. Get a side of blue cheese and celery. Or do you prefer celery and blue cheese with your hot wings or no?
I don't like blue cheese.
It's very disappointing.
I like ranch. I'm a big ranch, and I like those special kind of sauce called sesame seed sauce. It's really sweet on the wings. I love that.
Are you a B-dubs man?
No.
I
get my special. My mom makes a special type of wings. I love hers. Others just don't compare to it.
If I'm going to go, I do also like to make my own wings, Miles, but if I'm going to go somewhere, I prefer, I got like a little Roosters. I got the barbecue donkey.
Roosters is pretty good. I get the
Roosters is
garlic.
solid.
I get the garlic there.
Yeah, I do. I go my own wings at home. I like to go. I boil them in the oven, nice and crispy.
My mom fries them and puts them in a special sauce that she doesn't yet tell me the recipe of.
One day you will be honored there. It's still 7-3 Gooding. End of the second here. We're creeping down. I really like to see. That's going to be the end of the second. It's going to be 7-3. Kind of come under there. Really good defense off that. He locks in the crotch there. He's going to try to stop Jackson from coming around. Cole's trying to turn his hips. So what he wants to do is turn his hips down towards the mat. That's going to break grip of Gooding, and he's going to be able to score. He's going the wrong way at this point there. He's going to switch his hips, and then he needs to straighten his right leg and bring it around and not get that call there. In a position like that, that's what Gooding's doing. Gooding's hanging on. He's going to that near leg. He's got to move his hips to get to the corner, and he's not doing that. Gooding again is putting him on his hip, and Creighton's going to go right to Cole's elbow. He's going to go right to his hands or his elbows to break it, and he's going to spin, and he's going to get his other two. If he scores here, that's going to be really close to putting it out of reach. It's going to be 9-3. Gooding. He's keeping the pressure on. He's really keeping the pressure on Jackson. He's looking for his bonus here, trying to lock up that cradle, and he's got it locked. He's got that cradle locked. Jackson's arms out.
Cole just refusing to go over.
He's doing the right thing.
Gooding switching sides.
It's a short time. He's about 15 seconds here. About 10 seconds left. It looks like we're going to end up 9-3. It's a big win for Gooding as a 10th grader. Jackson, a talented, tough senior at 120. That's going to be it. It's going to make it 52-3. .126, Taryn Martin, 10th grader. Taryn was a district qualifier last year at 106.
Taryn's actually nationally ranked a women's wrestler. She transferred from Grove City here to Orange. Thankful for that, of course. She's a great wrestler.
She's on our girls soccer team. I think the eventual plan is for Martin to matriculate down to 113. With Jackson at 20, it's not an option. 126 is a big weight for her, but she's super talented. We'll see if she can sneak one out here. There's going to be a strength differential that always comes into play. If she can get in that top position, she's got really good turns from there. Who does she got?
Up against her is Gabe. Oh. Gable, a lengthy person himself. Got about 4 or 5 inches on Taryn right now.
Is this, no, I'm sorry. This is Nate Morse. O's the 13-pounder. She's at 126. Yeah, she's Taryn's ranked at 117 on the women's side, 5th in the country. She got a chance to represent us in the Pan Ams. She's up at 126 now. Again, another plan is for her to be at 113 by the postseason, which I think better wait for her if she can get there.
Come on, Taryn, keep moving, keep moving. Knee slide, keep your knees up underneath you. Come on.
Martin knee slides underneath, hand fights, trying to clear. He's coming around to the front. He's looking for that quarter Nelson. I'm sorry, 3/4. Trying Try to clear the arm. Looks like she clears. She's going to clear, and it's going to be, if she can clear up, it'll be 2-1.
Again, Taryn, not a really big person. She's more of a skillful type of person down on the mat. She's just being over-muscled right now. If she can get out of that disadvantage, I think she'd have a real shot here.
Still going to be 2-0. I'd like to see her go top in the second and see what kind of work she can do from there.
Oop.
Short time.
Moore has that cradle in right now.
It's going to be 5-0 more. Sorry, Moore?
Yep.
5-0 more over Martin. She defers. He chooses neutral. Her best position, at least in folk style, is choosing top. For being a pretty lanky kid, she gets the legs in, she starts cranking and turning.
I'm sorry.
The fight. Big takedown right to her back. Moore's looking for the fall. He's stepping over. He's crowding. Torio on deck at 132. There's the fall. 10-0 and then the fall. That's going to make it 58.
Unfortunately, Taryn just getting overpowered there. The strength difference from 126 to 113 is really,
It's a big swing.
it's really prominent there.
A big swing. Up next, we got probably, certainly, almost nobody would argue Rocco Torio as
One of
the most credentialed wrestler on our team.
Yes.
State qualifier last year as a sophomore at 120. I'm sorry, at 126. He is up at 132. He's got a great match tonight. Who's he up against?
He is up against Sylvester Bakary.
Connor Uten. He's up against Connor Uten. Let me tell you about Uten. Uten's a freshman, state placer last year. I think he split with Torio. He's beaten Torio once, and Torio's beaten him once. I know Torio's looking forward to this match. He's had it circled on his calendar for a while. No doubt Uten wants to prove that it's no fluke. This should be a marquee match of the night for sure.
Real energized match right now.
Both these gentlemen should be at the Schottenstein Center come March. I know that Torio wants to pull this one out. He wants to make sure that Uten knows that this is his gym. But I'm going to tell you what, Uten is a real talented kid, super fast for a freshman, super talented. I'd say Torio is just a smidge bigger, but not noticeably so. Headblock, he stuffed the head. Uten comes up with the underhook and hand fights. Torio goes to the wrist, looks to corner. He's looking for that opening on the side. Uten on the leg attack, and there's his two. Uten's up 2-0. Uten very tough on top. If I'm recalling the previous match, gets those arm bars. He's deep on that arm bar. Torio needs to find a way to clear it, get to his feet, and go to work. Right into that tilt, and there's the swipes. Looks like he got two sitting, and there's the two. 4-0.
Come on, Rocco. Get up. Knee slide. Let's go. Come on.
I hate you so much. Call me and tell me where you're going. You get everybody. That should give you that. I mean,
8 seconds left. Uten gone again for the back. Really riding tough. Torio needs to go neutral or top.
1 second left in the period.
Unless I'm mistaken, I think they're ranked 1-2 in Central District.
stop calling me, Dad. That was loud.
Somebody behind me very upset with Dad calling them.
That was loud.
Yeah, Uten's 1, Torio's 2 in Central District. Nick Varinelli from Olentangy our little sister school, is ranked 3rd. He's a stud. He's 5th in the district last year. And Jacob Shanklin, Upper Arlington, 4th. Torio has wins over Shanklin, 2 wins over Shanklin, and split with Veronelli last year. Has a win over Leapley. I think Leapley snaked him last year. And then you go a little deeper down. I don't think there's a lot of guys deeper past 5 that are really in danger to qualify. I really think it's 5 people competing for 4 spots. I think Torio's one of the top 2 or 3 guys for sure. Big move guy. I'd like to see him make it a big move match here. Newton gets 2, and he goes right to work. He comes right into that chicken wing again. It's 6-0. And he's going to run Torio. He's got really tons of pressure on top. Tons of pressure. There he goes. He's going to catch him on his back, and he's going to... Physical for a freshman. Super physical. Torio's in trouble. I don't think he's in danger of giving up the fall, but Newton has a lot of time. 55 seconds on the clock. It looks like he's crowding him. It looks like he's close to catching the fall, and there's the fall. That's a rough one for the Nears tonight. Looks like it's going to end up 64-3. Newton solidifying himself as the number 1 guy in Central Ohio, pretty dominant over Torio. The Pioneers are going to shower up, check their weight, get in the vans and head up to Maumee Bay. Any final thoughts, or tell me what you think? Westerville looks like a top 3 team to me in Central
District. They look like the
District.
team to beat, honestly. If Orange can get past all their mistakes and get a win off of Westerville North in the future, or the individuals.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this year, judging by the 64-3.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. That's a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah.
I noticed one of the top 2 or 3 teams in Central Ohio. Liberty's right there. A lot of other teams. I know that the teams are breaking down. Any final thoughts, Miles, before we wrap things up?
It was a good match. We had a couple wins. Mitchell Broski. We had 1 win with Mitchell Broski. He came out top. With the others, they just need to work on a couple things. I think Rocco Torio has a real chance of placing in states and getting there. Other than that,
yeah, we need to make some adjustments. I know Coach will get them ready to go. I'm excited to see the results coming out of Maumee Bay this weekend. I'm Brian Nicola here with Miles DeVise. Miles, I know we're back here tomorrow night. We've got Ryan Dunn on the play-by-play tomorrow night. He's going to be here with your boy,
Tanner Lambert.
Howdy, friends. And Tanner will be on as a color analyst. We'll have a lot of cool things coming. So if you tune in tomorrow night, we're going to have a great show for you. Thank you. Have a great night.